Good afternoon. I'm Dave Jones with Storm Center Communications and GeoCollaborate. On this Sunday, September 12th, the tropics continue to percolate, and today we have a tropical storm. Tropical storm Nicholas has formed in the southwestern Gulf of Mexico. You can see it uh, whirling down here, right down here where the arrow is. Hurricane Hunter aircraft around 11 o'clock or 10:30 this morning Eastern Time did find low-level circulation and did find tropical storm force winds. So it has been named Nicholas, and the National Hurricane Center began at 11 a.m. to issue advisories on this storm. You can see what's going on. The clouds seem to be growing here up towards the coast of Texas and also enhancing a little bit along the coast of Louisiana. That's really hampering some of the hurricane recovery. Remember, Ida hit there just 2 weeks ago on the anniversary of Hurricane Katrina, and showers and thunderstorms are starting to impact areas like Grand Isle and southeastern Louisiana. This is indirectly associated with the tropical storm, but you can see ultimately the coast of Texas is going to see an increase in storm activity as well. Nicholas looks like it's moving at about 16 miles per hour, so that's not slow, and it's moving to the north. I want to throw on here a little bit. Well, first of all, before I dive into Nicholas, I do want to point out this little swirl out here. You can see this right on the corner of your screen. That is the remnants of what was Tropical Storm Mindy. Remember Mindy that formed right off the coast of Florida and hit right in the panhandle, went over southern Georgia, and then out and got swept up in this front here. Well, it's still being swept up. It has a swirl, but it doesn't have a lot of storm activity. So it's really just a low-level swirl. But you can see that these storms do survive and are really just being picked up and pushed by the jet stream with this trough of low pressure that's moving out. So back to Nicholas. Let me go over to GeoCollaborate and show you what's happening. GeoCollaborate shows the latest Hurricane Center forecast. This is it from Advisory 1 at 11 o'clock, where the cone is rather narrow here. So there's a bit of a higher degree of certainty within the errors. However, you can see we're here at 10 a.m. Eastern Time or Central Time on Sunday. It looks like landfall could potentially be sometime tomorrow evening or early on Tuesday morning. So the one thing that's uncertain is that since Nicholas is just getting its act together, it's a little bit unsure as to how far out to sea it might move or how far in it might hug the coastline. That has a big bearing on whether or not Nicholas is going to become a stronger tropical storm or even a hurricane. So that's why this bears very close watching as Nicholas moves to the north, a little like north-northwest, and then curves to the north and then the north-northeast. Landfall is a little bit uncertain as to where that's going to happen. I want to point out one other thing as well. You can see from this area that the cone becomes a circle. That's not a good thing because when the cone becomes a circle, it means that the storm is slowing its forward speed, and the center is likely just to be within that circle over a longer period of time. So look at this. It looks like perhaps 7 p.m. on Monday or 7 a.m. on Tuesday, the storm could be making landfall in this area. We'll have a large area of rainfall with it. That's the big concern, and I'm going to show you the Weather Prediction Center's forecast over the next 7 days for potential rainfall. But look at this. So we're talking about Tuesday morning here on the Texas coast, although it will be continuing to impact the coast of Texas even today, right? I mean, I'll go back to the satellite picture here. Look at these storms and clouds. They're about to start impacting the coast of Texas, and Nicholas is all the way down here from its center perspective. So there's a lot of storminess to the north of this storm and to the northeast of this storm. This is kind of indirectly associated with Nicholas. You can see this frontal system kind of tied up in this area. So it's enhancing the storm activity. It's enhancing what we call the convection. That's the formation of thunderstorms down here in southern Louisiana. However, as Nicholas starts moving to the north, these storms are going to move on shore, and they're going to have an impact. But let me go back to the forecast timeline here. You can see the cone. We're talking about perhaps Tuesday morning at 7 a.m. around here. But then look at this. This is 7 a.m. Friday. By 7 a.m. Friday, the storm is still over eastern Texas. So it's going to be swirling and generating heavy rain and storms through this entire time. And that is not welcome news. Because as Nicholas slows down, it doesn't mean it might lower its winds from tropical storm to tropical depression. However, we've had examples of this. We've had experiences of this from tropical storm and tropical depression Allison. We've seen Harvey, which I'm not comparing this to Harvey. I'm just saying that this is forecast to slow down. So we're going to be watching this very, very closely because it could become a very serious rain event for southeast Texas and parts of Louisiana. I want to show you what that looks like from a forecast rainfall standpoint from the weather prediction perspective and show you the day 1 through 7 quantitative precipitation forecast. That's just a long term for saying here's how much rain we think is going to fall over the next 7 days. And you can see because of the path that Nicholas is forecast to take and the amount of precipitation that's already falling north and east or northeast of the center, this area of rain is up to 10 to 12 inches of rain in this area. So if we go back into the red, this is about 5 inches of rain. So 5 to 10 inches of rain, perhaps even locally more, could fall in this area due to the interaction of Nicholas with this frontal system and Nicholas itself pumping a bunch of tropical moisture into Texas and Louisiana. That's why we want to watch this very closely, as we do with all tropical activity, because the Fleet Response Working Group and the Sensitive Information Sharing Environment are providing information to help the movement of utility vehicles, the movement of transportation, the availability of fuel and food to get into these areas. And the members of the All Hazards Consortium are doing a terrific job in gathering information, sharing it into the sensitive information sharing environment, so everyone can work from the same map at the same time, work from the same data that's trusted, that's provided by these trusted providers, and the states can also be a part of this partnership. They are a part of this partnership, so they can adequately resource items and transportation to really help our fellow states. So that's what we're doing with these updates. We hope you find them useful. Thanks so much for the kudos and the feedback during our Friday telecons that we had. And we'll continue these going through the tropical season. Please keep your feedback coming. You see my email address down below or my Twitter account there as well. So thanks so much for watching. We'll continue to update you on Tropical Storm Nicholas. If Nicholas moves further out to sea, just on the eastern edge of this cone here, if it moves further out, it has a chance of strengthening into a hurricane. That's why we want to watch this very, very closely. The amount of rainfall that's going to come from this storm could be prolific because of the slowdown of its movement that's forecast. So we'll keep you posted. I'm Dave Jones with Storm Center Communications and GeoCollaborate, and we'll update you again later on this evening after the 5 o'clock update from the National Hurricane Center, because now all eyes are on the Gulf of Mexico as Nicholas makes its way towards the Texas coastline, perhaps even impacting Louisiana as it's doing with some indirect showers and thunderstorms now. We want to watch this very closely, and we'll stay with you through the storm together. And thanks so much for watching. We'll see you a little bit later.